This video is going to help you complete part of your personal budget projects: D for charity and gifts, E subscriptions, and F the section on daily living. Let's start with D in regards to gifts. I know that many of you will be giving gifts to lots of family and friends, and what I've done is made a table that you can use and make a copy of in order to calculate how much that gift giving is going to cost you on a monthly basis. And with this gift planning guide, you can change all the names. Of course, you're going to need to go to File and make a copy so that you can edit it. But once you do make your own copy, you can edit all the names of the people and change the amounts, of course, to fit your needs. You can include any anniversaries, holidays. I included Mother's Day, Father's Day, the December holidays. Leave these numbers at the bottom alone. These things will auto-calculate, and so if I were to change and say, oh, we're going to increase Mom's Mother's Day gift because our budget's looking pretty good, we can up that amount, and it'll impact these amounts over here on the side. And so I've kind of done all the math for you as long as you put the names and the amounts. If you don't, if you only have one aunt that you're going to be buying a gift for, you can just take them out and in order to modify the totals, and everything happens automatically. If for some reason you make a mistake and delete one of the formulas, just feel free to go back to File and make a copy of it all over again. Next up is charity. Charity is optional. In this instance, what I do want you to do is, in the event that you don't give any money to charity, and you can give money to religious organizations or other charitable organizations at any amount you like. It's your choice, it's your money. But if you don't want to donate any money, you'll need a page saying, I will not donate any money to charity. Next section is subscriptions. This is for newspapers, magazines, any dues or membership fees that you might pay. If you're not going to subscribe to newspapers or magazines, I can understand. If you're not going to be a part of any club or organization, do carefully consider that you might be a member of BJ's, Costco, Sam's Clubs, like those kinds of subscriptions will fall here. If you want to have any subscriptions of any kind, you'll need one sheet that says on it, I will not have any subscriptions. Next up, we get to daily living, and this is where you're going to put your food budget. Oftentimes we don't think about groceries on a monthly basis, and so we often shop on a week-to-week basis or every other week, and each household things are done a little bit differently. What I'm going to be asking you to do is to get some actual receipts from the spending in your household, because those patterns that of spending on food are going to probably stay with you when you go out on your own. For example, I have a grocery receipt here from one of our shopping trips for a 1 week period, and so our expense was $95.04, so I would take $95.04 and divide that by, multiply that by 4, which means that monthly we're spending about $380.16. Actually, that's for 2 of us, and so what I would suggest for you is that you take the amount, divide by the number of people in your household, and then take that result and multiply by 4 if this was a weekly shop. So in this case, and in my case, I would say $47.52 per week times 4 weeks, and that gives me an amount of $190.08 to put into my budget. And so we'll go up here and put that in, $190.08. Oh yes, I have to be signed in. I got $190.08. Then the next thing in our direction is going to come personal supplies for hygiene, things like deodorant, gel, toothpaste, shampoo, etc. You can use drugstore.com or CVS or Walgreens or any other website that you'd like. And so we'll just add a couple of things into the cart just to use as an example here. So we'll add a couple things in. So maybe we're talking about things like toothpaste, talking about some things like deodorants, and so you can decide how frequently you'd like to repurchase these things. I would say maybe make one for just 1 month use, and then you can take that number and use it in your budget without having to do any additional addition or division. So we've got some deodorant, some toothpaste, some shampoo, maybe I'll need some conditioner, and I think you guys get the idea. You put all the things that you are likely to use. Then we'll go ahead and take a look at the cart. We'll check out. We're not going to really buy these things, of course. Let's back up and take a look at the overall cart and before we check out. And so this is the page that has the totals. So we can print this page and include it in our budget. It's gonna be charging us sales tax likely. It may not, it just depends on whether they have a location in Florida. And we'll use this amount into our budget, this $26.65. And then next comes our clothing. I'm going to let you decide what you'd like to purchase in terms of clothing. What I would recommend is maybe doing a once a year big shop, or do it by month. If you're going to buy clothes, once a month, you can get them from anywhere you'd like. So Old Navy or the Gap or whatever stores are the stores of your choice. Put together a bunch of shopping items. You remember that you want a shopping cart. You may want to buy items that are going to be useful for you at work, in a work environment. So if you're working in a professional environment, you may want to buy some professional attire. You don't want to buy sandals and shorts if you're working in an office environment that requires you to wear a suit. You probably want to buy some suits. So find yourself what it is that you'd like to purchase and put those things into a cart. So here we go. I got a great deal on a beautiful shirt. We'll add this to my cart. Just as an example. Now you can do this across a bunch of stores and add the numbers together. Remember that this is a monthly budget, so if you're purchasing these things every month, great, but you want to make sure that you're making that consideration about how frequently you're purchasing them. And this would be the page that you'd print, and this will be obviously for just one shirt. So you want to include some things like your undergarments. You want to make sure that you don't forget things like shoes and of course pants or shorts. You will be wearing things during the weekend, so this will allow us to account for all of that clothing. The next line is going to be for cleaning supplies. You can again get those at drugstore.com or any other website, things like Windex and stuff to scrub the bathtub and just general cleaners. Education and lessons. This is an option that you do not have to purchase educational lessons, but if you're going to take any piano lessons or cooking lessons, you can put a line item for that. The next one that's pretty important is dining out, and so we're going to often balance the grocery shopping with the dining out experience. And so if you're not going to spend a lot on groceries, you're likely to spend a lot more on dining or eating out. And so I'll look at your numbers and see what they look like. But for example, right now you may be accustomed to eating out very frequently, and you'll probably continue to do that if you already are accustomed to eating out frequently. If you're not used to eating out frequently, you may eat out more than you believe later on when your budget's a little more improved than it is for yourself today. You're going to want to go to whatever restaurants. If you don't have any actual receipts, you can use actual receipts from some of those restaurant trips. If you want to use web menus, you can go to Chili's.com or go to Red Lobster or any of these types of restaurants. A lot of them will have the information posted to their page. And so we can order online from a lot of different places, kind of give us an idea of what the menu items cost, since there typically isn't very much of a difference. And so let's say that we're gonna take this mix and match fajitas and we decide what we'd like. We'll take the amounts, right? This is the page we'll want to print. We'll want to include some costs for a beverage, because we'll be you'll be going out to these restaurants, so you want to include a cost for a beverage, as well as there's 6% sales tax, so don't forget to add in 6% sales tax, and don't forget a tip. Make sure that your tip is some percentage, something like 15%, 18%, or 20%. We'll leave that up to you in terms of deciding how good the service is. Once you figure out the place, you only really need to do it maybe once, in terms of figuring out the overall costs, because those types of restaurants are going to be pretty close in costs. And then you'll want to take the number that you get for the cost for each trip, and I have some of the math described here, the directions, and then maybe multiply by 4 if it's something you're going to do once a week, or if it's something you're going to do more frequently, if you're going to do it twice a week, then you'll multiply it by 8, right? Because again, we're budgeting for on a monthly budget basis. For the next piece is the salon and barber. I often have trouble finding those prices online. I happen to find Hair Cuttery, so you can use Hair Cuttery as a means of just getting some basic pricing information. Again, you'll want to print this page just as you would any other pages to support your numbers. And so here we've got a cost for a shampoo and a cut at $17. You're going to want to tip the person that's cutting your hair, so factor in some cost for a tip. Again, maybe something like 20%. I'd say that's pretty standard for someone who cuts your hair. And again, print this page. You can write right on it and do the math about what the 20% represents. And we'll move on to the next one about pet food. Again, an option. If you have a dog or a cat, you're going to want to make sure you purchase food for them. Maybe you buy a big bag of food and you buy it every other month, or a really big bag and every 3 months, and you'll want to find yourself that food and again print that cost. The next section is for things maybe associated with dry cleaning or anything that I might have missed that you have a regular expense for. Dry cleaning costs could be something that you would lump into here. It's actually more expensive than you think. Alright, that's it for this video. On the next one, we'll do entertainment, savings, and obligations. Hope that helped. Have a good day.